Hi, it's good to be back. It's good to be well. It's good to be back in my home. It's good to be reading again, especially knowing from the comments I've gotten from people that it's been powerful for them. So, thank you. So, this is chapter 19, an introduction to empathy and empathic response. Many of us carry within us cellular memories of another way of existing. This other way of existing is often evidenced when someone says, I just want to go home, and they don't mean their house. I don't feel like I fit in here, or I just don't get why things are the way they are here. This is us remembering a reality beyond the separated, fear-based survival system we exist in today. Many of us remember realities of unity where the focus is more on connection and care. This remembrance leads to such collective grief and horror about the world today. A reflection of this paradise lost feeling is the personal sense of grief, fear, and terror many of us feel in realities of separation. To seek what we hold to be true realities of unity, we delve into concepts and practices that are aligned with unity/non-duality. This is seen in the rise of the popularity of words such as empathy. Notice how the use of the word empathy has grown according to Oxford Dictionary. Between 1800 to 2019 is the graph. People are striving to understand their experiences, their sensitivities, and their emotional responses to the world. Many human beings learning no alternatives are appearing through a lens of separation. Through the lens of separation, there is much collective confusion and disagreement about what empathy means. Lending to the confusion, empathy is used in many professions and traditions that claim it as their own. The Atlantic 2015 article, A Short History of Empathy, opens up more. The English word empathy came into being only about a century ago as a translation for the German psychological term Einfühlung, literally meaning feeling in. Other suggested words were animation, play, aesthetic sympathy, and semblance. But in 1908, two psychologists from Cornell and the University of Cambridge suggested empathy for Einfühlung, drawing on the Greek em for in and pathos for feeling, and it stuck. At the time the term was coined, empathy was not primarily a means to feel another's emotion, but the very opposite. To have empathy in the early 1900s was to enliven an object or to project one's own imagined feelings onto the world. Some of the earliest psychology experiments on empathy focused on kinesthetic empathy, a bodily feeling or movement that produced a sense of merging with an object. One subject, imagining a bunch of grapes, felt a cool, juicy feeling all over. The art critics in the 1920s claimed that with empathy, audience members could feel as if they were carrying out the abstract movements of new modern dance. The Oxford Dictionary defines empathy as the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. In this book, there's no pressure to define things, but instead a pressure to bring something back into its fundamental relationship with what a human being is designed to be and to be part of. The word empathy is a perfect example of this reclamation. Empathy is a merge point, the meta point between ourselves and existence itself, a bodily feeling or movement that produces a sense of merging, that registers as movement within our existence. In the first book, Language of Creation, we examine the difference between talking about something and getting access to the direct experience of something. The two professors mentioned in the Atlantic article coined a word to give something that was being experienced a linguistic place in the English language. They created a word to get access to something that was present but not yet named. That the word became aberrated by a reality of separation is no real surprise. The aberration is seen in questions such as, are you empathic or not? Can you draw on people's empathy through advertising and use it to your advantage? Can you make ways to score empathy levels while hiring a new employee? Empathy has become objectified. Either you have it or you don't. Either you want it or you don't. It's seen as either a liability or a gift. Either or, either or, either or. I'm going to capitalize empathy to connote empathy as a phenomenon in the field of creation. A field phenomenon distinct from how the word is usually held as only a human experience, not who we are when we recognize ourselves as part of the movement of creation. I will do my best in our present aberrated languaging to bring empathy present beyond where it is held in the human psyche to date. Again, in a reality of separation, we are dealing with a languaging that is largely based on objectifying things as if they are outside of us. This is a real problem with the word empathy, because first, empathy is not outside of us. We are in the glue of empathy. Second, in an objectified reality, when we think of ourselves stuck in the glue of empathy that connects us into all creation, we also experience ourselves at the effect of empathy, not in unity with it. An example of writing a creation exercise using template 3. Craving what empathy is for me is the glue of creation, creates what empathy is for me as my interaction of connection with all living things. Creating what empathy is for me as my interaction of connection with all living things. Sustains and maintains what empathy is for me as the vibrancy of unity expressed. Sustaining and maintaining what empathy is for me as the vibrancy of unity expressed embodies what empathy is for me as the fundamental fabric of the universe. Now stop. Go back. Breathe. Note, if you can, that the professors who first brought the word empathy into language were two men in a vast sea of human beings trying to sort out a concept or idea. Could it be they were resonating with a consciousness of empathy that was trying to find its way back into the human system, and that we are simply taking on what they sculpted because that sculpting fits with the fundamental design of what a human being is designed to be? Notice also that they chose a word that has movement and is difficult to objectify. Reread the paragraph above and read the original definitions of empathy. To enliven an object, enlivening through our capacity to feel in and restore what is life-enhancing and life-generating. To project one's own imagined feelings onto the world, feeding the field what is life-enhancing and life-generating. When you read the phrase, to project one's own imagined feelings onto the world, you may find your mind drifting into thoughts that are life-defeating and life-depleting, that you think originate within you. It's all my fault, I'm to blame, am I worthy, am I enough? Could it be that human beings are under a spell at a mass consciousness level where they are seeing defeating and life-depleting ideations projected in the world around them and in their own perception? But those thoughts are just projections that do not originate. But those thoughts are just projections that do not, hold on. Could it be that human beings are under a spell at a mass consciousness level where they're seeing defeating and life-defeating and life-depleting ideations projected in the world around them and in their own perception? But those thoughts are just projections that do not originate with them. Let's do it this way. But are those thoughts just projections that do not originate with them or with you? But are those thoughts just projections that do not originate with them or with you? What if we began to focus on a projection that was life enhancing and life generating? What kind of reality would then begin to form in the physical world? Feeling in connection with the universe, and feeling in that connection when we are empathically responding. At the time of writing this book, how the word empathy is usually used, therefore in this writing medium, will be replaced as often as possible with the term empathic response. I will intentionally not be capitalizing empathic response as often as I will intentionally not be capitalizing empathic response. I have a tendency to drive Grammarly crazy. I will intentionally not be capitalizing empathic response because the source of the response is in the human body, while the source of empathy exists in the response of creation. You can relate perhaps to empathic response also as kinesthetic empathy, a bodily feeling or movement that produces a sense of merging with an object. That bodily feeling is what I term empathic response. We will explore these concepts and reclaim them in the next two chapters. It's so interesting because basically what we did last night in the transmission activation was exactly this. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, my beloveds, I have done my due diligence, and I am thrilled to be back and well, as we all are that are going through what we've been going through lately, and I wish you well.